So to check out the new Turkish faction squad, first you got to install the squad public testing, which you have to find in your Steam library. Then once you open it up, you're going to want to go to training. We can just pick any one because we're going to actually change it. So normally if you wanted to try out a new faction and squad, you'd have to find that faction in the testing range. In this case, there isn't actually a Turkish forces testing range, so we have to change the map. In order to do that, we're going to have to open the console, which is default is the tilde key, or the little squiggly key above tab. Otherwise, you can set a keybind for the console in the settings. So the first command we're going to want is admin change layer, and we're going to want to select Al Basra Invasion V9. So once we select that, it'll change the map. So once the map loads, now we can join Turkish faction. So once we do that, the one hiccup is you can't actually select most of the kits because you are just a one-man squad. So we have to do one more console command. This one is admin force all role availability. It's one word, and then we're going to select one. And that's just going to unlock all of the kits for us, even though we're just a one-man squad. So when the round begins, we're going to be in the staging phase, so we're going to need to wait a little bit for that to end so we can actually start our vehicles or leave the main base and actually shoot any of the new guns. In terms of the new vehicles for this layer, a bunch of them are not actually available. There is no M60 tank, there's no Cobra 2 armored car, which is kind of like a Mat V. We do have some APCs and some IFVs and some transport trucks, so we'll check all those out. So the base Turkish APC is based on the old US M1113, and then with just different turrets. It's also got a bunch of smoke grenades. This one has an open top turret with a medium machine gun. This one over here has a closed turret with what I believe is a 20mm automatic cannon and a 7.62 coax. Oh, sorry, 25mm turret. I stand corrected. AP and HE, so very similar to the LAV or Bradley cannon. I believe it's just exactly the same. You have about 180 total rounds, 70 AP and 110 HE. There's another open top APC, this time with a heavy machine gun instead of a MG3. This is a wheeled APC, similar to the Striker or the Canadian LAV, and again it's got the same 25mm cannon and the same ammo loadouts, coax, smoke, everything as the tracked version. None of these are amphibious, by the way. And then on the same wheeled chassis we have a few different turrets. So that one was a 25mm cannon. This one is a remote medium machine gun, an MG3. It's got the same sort of turret and camera similar to the Striker. And this one also pretty much the Striker camera and turrets. remote weapon station, but now with a heavy machine gun. So basically, pretty much exactly the same as a striker. I'm not sure how much ammo it carries. Ooh, it probably tells me somewhere. Still can't find it. But yeah, just one big clip, and it has stabilization. And then a Huey and a transport truck. The other vehicles. So, now that staging phase is over, I'll just grab this one and roll out. And we'll check out some of the infantry weapons once we get out of the main base. Just head over the desert real quick to maybe the ruins over here. I got a few things to shoot. So just in terms of the turret, I think this is the same site as the Bradley, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I am. And just the same 25mm automatic cannon with HE and AP that's a bunch of Blue 4 faction vehicles already have. Of course, same coax and smoke. So in terms of the infantry kits, for like vehicle crewmen, pilots, and one other kit, there is now a SMG. No idea what it's called. The SAR-109T, which fires a 9mm bullet, so a pistol bullet, out of a 30-round mag. It's kind of like an MP5, if you're more familiar with that one. And I guess this is just for CQB. As a vehicle crewman, you just get 2 clips, so you're not really CQBing too much with that. And then there's a specialized kit, which I'm in the wrong menu to select, the gendarme, which I think it's almost like police in French or something. And with this one, you actually get a bunch of mags for your SMG, and then a pistol. I feel like some other faction has this pistol, an M17. I'm not sure. I don't pistol too many things. And then a couple frag grenades. Standard frag grenade, standard smoke grenade. So compared to other factions that don't have any SMGs, we have one sort of CQB class. For the sort of basic rifle that most of the classes have, it's called MPT 76. Okay. It is a 7.62 by 51mm round, so similar to the G3, firing out of a 20-round clip with a semi-full auto. So I think overall just very similar to the G3. And then the scope is a cool variable zoom scope. So we have the sort of unmagnified scope and the magnified scope. And magnification is something. It looks kind of like a 3 or 4x. I don't think it's actually telling me here. So I guess if you do not like using this very low capacity magazine and high recoil weapon, you have that SMG option. But for most of the classes, you're going to have a CQB gameplay similar to the G3. Firing on full auto here. I'm not an infantry player, so can't really compare it to too much, but even though it's a large caliber, the recoil on full auto seems fairly reasonable. Obviously, with a 20-round magazine, you're balancing a more powerful round against less bullets and more recoil. And then, just like the other factions, you have an iron sight. I'd say the iron sight is pretty cool. You got good visibility. The front post is a little tiny bit hard to see because it's so narrow, but not too bad. and then a hollow sight, which I forget what this one is called, but it's a pretty standard hollow sight that a bunch of the factions have. Let me see. So for machine gunner, there's not a light machine gun like some factions have. There's just a unscoped MG3, which is firing with a blank round magazine, 120 round magazine. And it's pretty cool, obviously without a scope. Not quite as good at range. I feel like if this was firing at me, I'd be pretty suppressed right now. So in the, check out the marksman next. So this has a, looks like a 6x zoom. Or no, I take that back. Do not quote me on that. So this is a designated marksman rifle. I'm trying to think of the magazine. It looks like it has a 20 round magazine. Bipod. And a variable zoom scope. You cannot zero the scope, so you're going to have to find your range and aim up to hit long range targets, which is a little bit annoying. Ooh. Yeah, sorry, it has a 6x and 12x variable zoom. So pretty good zoom at longer range. And you can get some pretty quick follow-up shots. For AT, you have 3 different classes. Basically, iron sights, holographic sight, and scope are kind of your rifle options. For the scope one, you have 1 law, anti-tank, and 1 grenade. Oops. For the hollow sight, you get an additional binocular. And if you go for the iron sight, now you get 2 RPGs, 2 anti-tank RPGs, similar to RPG other factions have, and 2 frag ones. So, similar to some other factions like T loadouts. For one of the grenadiers, you have a scoped rifle again, same scope that most of the scoped kits have with a variable zoom. I guess it's a 1 and 4x zoom. And then an underbarrel grenade launcher with a standard loadout of 10 HE and 6 smoke. Their editorial note, I'd much rather have 16 smoke and 16 HE and 0 smoke, but whatever. Then you have this sight. And the sight here is actually pretty good. Some of the grenade sights, they don't have a lot of ranges or it blocks your view. This one is just super clean, and you have a bunch of ranges to choose from. Over here you have an engineer kit with some pretty standard engineering stuff, 3 mines, a C4, pretty much standard engineer loadouts. For our machine gunner kit, we have, pretty sure this is comparable to the medium machine gun for other factions. It's got a 75 round magazine versus the 120 magazine for the other non-scoped machine gunner kit. So a little less magazine capacity, but now you have the same 1x, 4x variable zoom. So compared to factions that don't have a scope on their machine gun or don't have a variable scope, this is pretty good. You have a pretty decent sight, but again, you cannot zero it to any particular range. And saving the best for last, you have the absolutely most busted and cool weapon that I've ever seen for any infantry in squad, the alternate grenadier kit. So this has the iron sight rifle with a bunch of mags, smoke grenades, some binoculars, and the MKE MGL. Now you can see in the description here, this is based on the Milcor grenade launcher, which some other countries, notably United States Marine Corps, use in real life, and hopefully we'll get sometime soon in squad. So you have 3 6-round clips. A little bit annoying when you switch the grenade launcher, even after you've loaded it the first time, you dump out your live grenades and reload it. So, tiny bit annoying if you want to quickly switch between your rifle and your grenade launcher. That just ain't happening for you. But it's not like a super big issue. You have this really cool red dot sight, and you can zero it. So it's just perfect. You got pretty good visibility, and you can set a whole bunch of different ranges, up to 400 meters. A little sad when you hold down shift, you do not zoom in anymore, which you could do with the other underbarrel grenade launcher. So a little bit worse at longer ranges, just being able to see things. You have to put your face a lot closer to the monitor. So I'll try to hit these ruins over here. And you can see firing very, as quick as you pull the trigger from a 6-round clip. This thing is absolutely fucking insane. If an enemy squad or whatever was over there, they would either have gotten completely wrecked or at least be heavily suppressed. Reloading the whole 6-round clip is actually pretty quick. It's not super longer than just reloading the one grenade from the other normal grenade launchers. Now what happens if you fire less than the whole clip? You just reload that many grenades. So just like you would hope and expect for it to work, it works just like that. Fire just one grenade, I can go and top off my clip. So if you balance everything out, you have a ton of grenades, 18 grenades right now, and I'm hoping this is a typo. It actually only costs 10 ammo to reload the full clip, where normally I think you're paying 7 per grenade for a normal grenade launcher. For each grenade, now you're paying 10 for 6 grenades. So maybe that's a bug that'll be changed. If not, that's also completely busted. If you have a rifleman buddy or just any vehicle you're parked next to, at 10 rounds for 6 grenades, you're going to be shooting this thing for days. If you have any type of reloading available to you. In terms of long-range fire, without being able to zoom the sight, it is a tiny bit hard to see these longer ranges, but still totally doable. If you have a squad leader marking targets out for you, it's just absolutely fucking busted. Of course, this is a desert map, but you can imagine in a forest and a tree line, you are just frigging demolishing everything here with this grenade launcher. No questions asked. Try to shoot at this palm grove over here. Set a little bit further, and we'll see how it performs at a longer range here. So yeah, even without putting a range marker, it's not too hard to guesstimate the range, and this is like almost like a mini mortar barrage right here. I am just slamming that palm grove with grenades. If I am sitting somewhere cool with a nice ammo source, ideally having a teammate marking stuff for me, or just marking stuff for myself with my binoculars, and then slowly but surely switching back to my grenade launcher, I am just absolutely raining hell on everything that comes down here. How good are these against vehicles? I assume just no better or worse than the normal grenade launcher, obviously you can just fire more of them. Min arming distance is, check here. Let's see that. Well, less than 10 meters, less than 8 meters. I'm totally out of ammo here. It feels almost foolish to fire this into my own face at 5 meters, but I'll try it out. Okay, so an arming distance more than 5, more than 6, more than 7. I will just guess it's a round number in 10. Yeah. So realistically, even in CQB, this thing is insane. Because you're never going to fire it so close that you're going to hurt yourself. That mid-arming distance. And yet at mid-arming distance of 10, it is a realistic possibility that you could use this for CQB. Like, especially if you have maybe a rifleman or the guy with the SMG kit stacked behind you to get anything, kill anyone who gets closer than 10 meters. This would be absolutely nuts clearing any type of building. You are just shooting the wall. Even if you miss the enemy, you're shooting a wall, ceiling, or floor next to them. You have 6 grenades. You're just wrecking absolutely everything, both at range and CQB with this thing. My APC here, you know, it took a fair number of grenades. I'll jump in real quick to see how much damage that costs to the hull, but obviously no damage to the hull. But obviously you can track wheeled vehicles by messing up the tires pretty badly with that thing. So absolutely fucking busted. There's probably a million different scenarios I haven't even thought of yet where it is even more busted. I really hope the United States Marine Corps gets this. It's one of my favorite factions, and if they use that weapon in real life, it'd be awesome to see them get it as well in this game. And I absolutely cannot wait to use that against the enemy.